Hello everyone. So today we are with the third session of our Compass Camp. So today's session is all about an Android Smart and Toolkit, which is being used for building the native UI called as Jetpack Compass. So as we are going to see about Jetpack Compass in our third session. Yes, we'll just get into our session now. I'll be sharing a PPT with you now, and you can see the particular PPT along with what I say here. You can hear them also. So yes, first we'll see about what is the agenda of today's session. So today's session, the agenda of today's session is that we'll be seeing about first what is Jetpack Compasses, and then we're gonna see about the Jetpack libraries, and then we're gonna see about how to set up this particular Jetpack Compass, and finally with the Jetpack basis. So this is the agenda of today's session. First, what is Jetpack Compass? Jetpack Compass is Android's modern toolkit for building native UI. It simplifies and accelerates UI development and on Android with lesser code and powerful tool. So Jetpack Compass is nothing but it is a suite of libraries to help the developers follow best practices, reduce the boilerplate code, and write the code that works consistently across any Android devices and any Android version, so that the developers can focus on the code which they write. So that is what is this Jetpack Compass to be simple. Jetpack Compass is nothing but it is a suite of libraries, and it is the Android's modern toolkit for building native UI. And it also said that Jetpack Compass is something like the future for the Android app development. And this particular Jetpack Compass encompasses a collection of Android libraries that incorporate best practices and provide backward capability in your app development. So that is what this Jetpack Compass encompasses with, and it is fully declarative like we already see on Flutter and Shift UI and the React Native. So this is what is Jetpack Compass. Now we'll see about the advantages of Jetpack Compass. So this particular Jetpack consists of enormous advantages, and out of them have been taken four advantages, which is of the very big important of. So the first advantage is that it provides less code, and next is its initiative, and it accelerates development and powerful. So less code in sense that it do more with less code and avoid the entire classes of bugs, so the code is simple and easy to maintain. So in that way is what it provides with the less code. And next advantages is that it is initiative in sense you just describe your UI, and the particular compose will takes care of the rest. So as the app state changes, your app your UI automatically updates. So that is the work of this particular initiative, and that's why we say this particular Jetpack is initiative. And next is that it accelerates the development. So it is compatible with all your existing code, as you can adopt when and where you want. And it also provides with live previews which we can use while you're coding, and at the same time it supports fully with the Android Studio. So that is why we say it accelerates the development. And next is that it is very powerful in sense it creates beautiful apps with direct access to the Android platform APIs and built-in support for Android material designs, dark theme, animations, and more. So that is why we say this particular Jetpack is powerful. So now we saw about the advantages of Jetpack. Now we'll move on into the libraries in Jetpack. And before that, this particular Jetpack also provides with a work manager, and this particular work manager actually being used for your background scheduling needs, and it also contains room. So this particular room is for the data storage persistence, and we have something called as navigation in order to manage your application navigation flow, and we have camera X for your camera app needs. So it also this particular Jetpack Compose also provides with this, and these are also said to be the advantages of this particular Jetpack. And next, we are going to see about the Jetpack libraries. So, what is libraries? So, libraries is nothing but it is a collection of pre-written code that the programmers can use to optimize a task. And this particular library is usually includes a few different pre-coded components. So, libraries is nothing but it is a collection of pre-written code. So, that is what is called as libraries. And these Jetpack libraries may be alone or in combination to address the needs in your app. So that's what this particular libraries can be. So it can be either the Jetpack Compose library can be either alone or in a combination in order to like address the need in your app. And now we're gonna see about the few libraries in Jetpack Compose, and we're going to see about first about the new libraries in Jetpack. At the same time, we're going to see about the popular libraries. First, we'll start with the new Jetpack libraries. So Jetpack consists of many new libraries. So some of them are like it provides with a library called as Compose 1.2, and next it provides with a library called as VR Compose, and next we have something called as Core Splash Screen 1.0. Next we have Camera X version 1.1, and then we have Drag and Drop 1.0. So these are some of the new Jetpack libraries. Let's see what is the function of these libraries one by one. So first is the Compose 1.2. So this particular libraries like includes support for the grid layout, easing curves, nested scrolling, intercard, and many bug fixes, and also like performs improvement. So that is the work of this particular library. And next we have something called as VR Compose library. So this particular VR Compose library 1.0 was built upon the core compose libraries to like provide additional wearable specific components, and where like appropriate alternate implementation of core compose components tailored to the wearable device. So that is how this particular thing works on it, and that is how this particular thing built upon is. And next we have a library called as Core Splash Screen 1.0. This particular Core Splash Screen 1.0 adds the new Android 12 splash screen to all the devices from the APIs. So that is the function of this particular library. The function of this Core Splash 1.0 library is to like add new Android 12 splash screens to all the devices from the APIs. And next we have a library called as Camera X version 1.1, and this particular Camera X version 1.10 like have a new feature which includes the video capture libraries, extensions, and it converts like YUV to like RGB convert. It like provides with YUV to RGB like conversion for like image analyzation, and it also like provides with exposure compensation. So that is the work of this particular library. And then we have something called as Drag and Drop 1.0, and this particular library like simplifies your implementation of drag and drop capabilities. So these are some of the new Jetpack libraries. And next, now we're going to see about the popular libraries. There are like many popular libraries, and I've been like displayed here with some 5 popular libraries, and we're going to like tell them one by one. So first popular library is that it's Activity, and next we have like App Compact. Next we have like App Search. Then we have Camera and Compose. So these are the few popular libraries which we are going to like see now. So first is the Activity. So this particular activity like access the composable APIs built on the top of the activity. So that is a function of this particular activity library. It is being like used to access the composable APIs built on top of an activity. So next we have App Compact. So this particular App Compact library like allows to like access to new app APIs on an older API version of the platform. So here everywhere I say something called as API, right? First we have to see what this particular API is. So these APIs are nothing but they are like mechanisms that like enable like two software components to communicate with each other using a set of definitions and protocol. So that is what is called as APIs. APIs are nothing but they are like mechanisms to enable two software components to communicate with each other using a set of definitions and protocols. Say as for an example, we have something called as the Weather Bureau software system, which contains the daily weather data. And the weather app on our mobile phone actually like, talks with that particular system, like using APIs, and it like shows you daily weather updates on your phone. So this is how this particular API works on weather. And moving on with the next popular library, which is the App Search. So this particular library called as App Search provides with built custom in-app search capabilities for for the user. So it provides with an custom built search capabilities for the users. So that is the function of this particular library called as App Search. And then we have something called as Camera, and this particular Camera library was built for the mobile camera apps. And next we have a library called as Compose. So this particular Compose library defines your UI programmatically with composable functions that describes its shapes and data dependencies. So that is the work of this particular compose library. So now we saw about the popular libraries which have been like used in this Jetpack. So now we saw about what this particular Jetpack is, advantage of Jetpack, followed by the libraries in Jetpack. They have been like we saw about the new libraries, popular libraries, and everything. Now we'll see why we should use Android Jetpack. So the three main thing why we have to like use Android Jetpack is that it follow best practices and it like eliminates the boilerplate code and it reduces the fragmentation. So it like follow best practices in sense like it provides the build around modern design practices, and this particular Android Jetpack libraries enable like fewer crashes, and also like it provides with lesser memory leaks with backward capability. So that's why we say this particular Android Jetpack is like provides best practices. And next is that it eliminates boilerplate code. So all the Android apps like manage tedious activities like the background task, navigation, life cycle management, and so on. And this particular things will like make you like focus on what the task your apps will like perform. So that's why we say that this particular Android Jetpack like eliminates the boilerplate code. And next is that it reduces fragmentation. So reduces fragmentation in sense like it reduces the complexity with libraries that would like consistently like that works consistently across the Android versions and devices. So that is the work of this particular reduction of fragmentation. It like reduce the complexity of the libraries that like work consistently across any Android devices and any Android version. So these are the few like important things why we say this particular Android Jetpack Compose should be like used. So yes, now we saw about like why we have to use this particular Android Jetpack, and we are being like now done with the theoretical content of our Jetpack. So now we'll move into like how to like set up a Jetpack Compose project and how to like work with it. So for that, I'm gonna like open my Android Studio project. So whenever you wanna like open a particular Android Studio project, there are like two ways. If it's your first time in order to like open your particular Android Studio project, then when once you have been like set up with your Android Studio, it will like show a particular screen where you have something called a start your first project Android Studio. You can like use either over that way, or you have been like already worked with this particular Android Studio. Now you want to like work, or you want to like create a project with Compose in such a manner. Just go to this file over the menu bar, click onto the particular file, click menu, sorry, like click new, and inside that you could see something called as new project. Click onto that particular new project. You will get a like a page like this, and here one second. So here under the phone and tablet bar, you could see, yeah, you could see a number of templates available. Here we are gonna like create a Compose project. So hence we are gonna like select something called as empty Compose activity. Just click onto them, click next, and here you'll be like given with a page where it provides the name of the particular application. So here you can like give the name of the particular application. I'm gonna give it as Compose 1 2 3, and the package name, it will be like provided here with the package name. I would have already said what this package is. I'll just repeat it again also. So package is nothing but it is something which is being like used to like uniquely identify a particular application. So that is what this particular package is being like used for, and it will be like followed with a thing called as com, and this particular com will like it's nothing but it is the website which you use, and next followed by the example is nothing but it is the company name, and followed by this it's nothing but it's the particular name of the particular project. So this is how this particular package will look safe. Then next it will show save location. So where this particular compose activity is being like show it is being like saved, it will like show the location of that. In my computer it has been like saved in with C drive in users Mridu, then Android Studio project with the name of Compose 1.123. And if you want to like change the path of that location of the particular application saved in a device, you can like change, or if you're like good with this, go with this. And next we have something called as language, and here with the language we will be provided with like two options if you like work with this particular simple Android Studio. But here we have been like created a compose. So the compose should can the Android Jetpack compose will works only with the programming language called as Kotlin. So that's why it's like defaultly given as Kotlin. And here it shows like minimum SDK. So what is the minimum SDK which you want it to have, then you can like give it up here, and have been like chosen with Android 5.0 Lollipop, because your particular app which been built with the minimum SDK of this Android 5.0 Lollipop can like run on approximately 98.8 percentage of all the devices, and that's why I have been like choose this particular Lollipop SDK. And after like changing all these things required over here, click on to the finish button, and it'll like take like few minutes, like few seconds, in order to like import a particular project. So import it over here. Yes. It's getting imported now. Yeah. Now the particular project has been like fully imported over here. So let's see what are the things Compose project contains with. It contains the same menu bar which has like file, edit, new, navigation and all that. Then it contains the toolbar which contains run option. We have something called as debug option over here. And then we have something called as emulator or the debugger and everything. We have something called as device manager over here. And then we have the sync project with Gradle files option and many more over here. And then we have the in the project we have all these things over here. We have the resource manager and the structure, favorite, build, variants and all that over here. If you have been like already worked with Android Studio, you would have seen that a simple project that is an empty project with Android Studio, in that you'll be having something called as the main over here, and then we'll have this main activity and all that. And then when you like click on to this design option, here you'll have something called as palette, and you have the XML designs over here, where whatever like drag and drop method you can use over here, and whatever you like design with the drag and drop method, those things will be like automatically generated into a code in the code option and all that. So but here in the compose, that particular drag and drop method cannot be like used. We have to like just code in this particular compose option. So yeah, this is a particular code over here. So in this particular code, we have the package, as I said before, is used for like uniquely identification of the particular application. Then we have certain import functions over here, and these particular import functions have been like used to import the functions which we have been like given over the downcoded things and all that. And then we have the class main activity over here. So main activity is nothing but it is the entry point of a particular programming language, and here it plays a role of a class name. And then we have like component activity, we have like override, on create function, save instance state, and super dot on create, and set content and all that here. So this particular set content is being like used in such a way that this particular set content blocks like defines the activities layout where the composable functions are called. So that is the work of this particular set content over here. And next we have something called as at compose, at preview, and all these. We'll see what are them all. So whenever you want to like so before that we'll just see what is this composable function, and then we'll see about when we have to like use this particular composable function, how to like use this particular composable function. First, what are these composable function? So Jetpack Compose is a built around composable function. So hence these functions let you define your app's UI programmatically by describing how it should look and providing the data dependencies, rather than like focusing on the process of the UI construction. So that is the work of this particular composable functions. And whenever you want to make a particular function composable, you must use an annotation called as at compose, and that is what we have been like used here. So this is the annotation which you have to use whenever you want to make a particular function composable. So here we are gonna like just print a particular statement, say as hello Android, and hence we are being like giving we are like passing of we are defining a function called as greetings over here, and in that particular function called as greeting we're gonna like pass a text and which is gonna like reflect on our design thing. So that is how this particular code is gonna like work on with. So as I said before, in order to like make a particular function composable, we must use an annotation called as at compose. And here after like giving the annotation called as at compose, give enter and give fun, and followed by the greeting function. And here I'm gonna like in this particular greeting function I'm gonna like pass a particular string, and hence I'm gonna like give it as name colon string and open the curly braces. And here I'm gonna like pass a text, so hence I'm gonna like give text with the parenthesis text is equal to hello. Then I'm gonna give the ampersand name, and hence this particular name will go and call with the default preview in the preview option, and the hello over the compose option will get connected with the Android in the preview option. So that is how this particular two things will get connected and display in the design option. And yes, now we saw why we have to like use this at compose function and how to like use this particular at compose function. And here we have used something called as at preview, right? Why we have to use that particular at preview? So this particular at preview annotation like lets you preview your composable function within the Android Studio without having to like build and install the app to an Android device or emulator. So that is the work of this particular at preview function. And the annotation should be like used on a composable function that does not takes in a parameter. For like this reason only, like you can't like preview the message card function directly. Okay, but so that is the work of this particular at preview function. So whenever you want to like preview like whenever you want to like rebuild your project, you must like keep this in your mind. So whenever you want to like rebuild your project, the app itself doesn't like change, since like the preview message like the preview function isn't like called anywhere, and hence whenever you want your particular code to be reflected in the design, you must go to the code, press the refresh option, and after that one it will be like get reflected over there. So here it's a simple code for build for like displaying a text called as hello Android. Let's now go with our design thing. Click on the design, and here just click on to the control plus this thing, and it's waiting to uh, build a particular thing which we have been like given in the code. And yes, it's working on. Yeah, whatever the text which we have been given is being like concatenated and it has been like printed in the design option. So let me like try to like change the text, like I'm gonna give Android, and let me like go to the design. It's not like, look, it's not like automatically changed. You have to like give refresh button. So give on this button, click. Yeah, now we could see that the particular thing has been like displayed over here. So now we saw how to like display the particular thing and how that particular thing like works on with. Now we'll see how to like give background color to that particular text which have been like displayed over here. So in order to like give the background color, first you have to like select this particular text function. So click on to the particular, select this particular, highlight this particular text function, and once you have done with highlighting them, just press alt enter. When you like press alt enter, you'll get with three options. The first option says as create new scratch file from selection. The second option says like surround with vignette, and the third option says like adjust code style settings. Now I'm gonna like select the surround with vignette option, and it contains with three options saying like surround with container, surround with row, surround with column. Here just click on with surround with container. So when you like give surround with container, this particular text will be like surrounded with a container over there. So inside that particular container only, it's gonna give the background color. So once you like click on the surround with container, this box scope will be like opened over here. So you doesn't need that box scope, and hence you're gonna like delete them up, and you're gonna use something called as surface here. So type surface followed by the braces parenthesis, and inside that parenthesis you're going to use a keyword called as color in order to like give color, followed by equal to, and then color starting with capital letter, and then you're going to give us a full stop. So when you give a full stop, you'll get a variety of colors which is being like available in this particular compass. So just click on to the color which you wanted to like display over here. I'm gonna like click on to the magenta, click plus enter, and it's been like given over here. And now let's see whether it's been like reflected in the design. So it won't like automatically reflect. Press this, like to take few seconds in order to like display over here. Yeah, now it's been like displayed. Now you could see that our particular text consists of like a background color as magenta, hence I've been like given magenta, and that's why it's been like surrounded with the background color called as magenta. So this is how you can give the background color for the particular text. So now let's see how to like use the padding property. So where we have to use this particular padding property is that when I want to like increase the container size, I have to use this particular padding property. So let's see how to like use this particular padding property. So whenever you want to like use a particular padding property, you must import two files. So how to like import is that first thing you just go into the import function and type import. So first thing I'm going to like import is compose.ui.unit.dp. So I'm going to use the keyword import followed by android dx, then put full stop, then compose dot ui dot unit dot dp. And this particular thing is being like used in order to like provide not to like import the dp, and that's why we've been like using this particular thing. And then press enter, and we're gonna like import another function with same android, like import android dx dot compass dot foundation dot layout dot padding. Hence we're gonna like use the padding property, hence we're gonna like import them over, and that's why we have been like now imported with it. Now we have done with importing our dp and padding. Now we can like use them here. So inside this text function, after this particular semicolon, I'm gonna like give comma, and I'm gonna add modifier here, modifier keyword. After like adding the modifier keyword, give equal to and add modifier keyword again with the capital letter in the beginning. And then after giving that, give a like a full stop, then use padding keyword, and inside that padding property just open the parenthesis, and inside that you're gonna give how much dp this particular like padding should extend of. I'm gonna give something like 34.dp. This is the syntax how it has to be like given. So we have done with like giving the padding property to a particular text. Let's now go to our design thing. Let's refresh it. Yeah, now you could see the particular text, the container which the particular text has been like placed on has been like increased. So the background, the container of the particular text has been like increased. So this is how you can like use this particular padding property. So yes, in today's session we saw about what is this particular jetpack compasses, and what is the advantages and all that. And then we saw about how to set up this particular jetpack compass, and how to like display a text, how to like display the background for that particular text, how to like use the padding property and all that. So yes, that's all with today's session. Thank you.